Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Caged Diamonds. Now, it's actually one of a series of puzzles. Well, I got to learn as I was actually looking at it. There's another two that we've actually featured on this channel that are very similar. Unfortunately, it's been long enough that I don't actually remember how they play, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to derive it once again as we actually get onto the solution. Now, Caged Diamonds obviously leads to this thumbnail where Sleuth, I assume, is just inspecting the security around these massive diamonds that are caged here in this gallery as part of a museum and making sure they are impenetrable and nobody can actually grab onto them. Hopefully, that's not what we're going to be playing today. As we take a look at the rule sets, it's going to be something that is more approachable rather than impenetrable and really difficult to break puzzle. Let's do so now. So rules-wise, we've got Caged Diamonds by Dr. Logic. For some of you that are regular viewers of this channel, you may already recognize this shape. And we'll take a look at those in 1 second. So rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Fairly standard. Then we have digits cannot repeat in a marked killer cage and must sum to this small clue if given. So for example, these 4 cells are part of a cage and must be unique. So even though Sudoku says these 2 cells could be the same, the fact that there's a dashed line around them putting them in the same cage is saying no, sir, they're not allowed to. The other thing that this is now saying is that these 3 cells add up to n. We don't know what n is, but they add up to it nonetheless. And it's useful because it means that this cage, and this cage are all adding up to the same value. Interesting. What else do we have? Digits cannot repeat along the marked diagonal. You can see this marked diagonal here in blue. That means we need to place the digits 1 to 9 once each. And I know that because we've got 9 cells across that diagonal. The fact they're not repeating means we need to place each of those digits from 1 to 9. We have digits along the pink renban line form a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in any order. So let's use, I'm a little bit worried about partially solving it. Let's use this one, and I place a 2 on here. What it means is either these 2 cells are 3, 4, so that you end up with 3 consecutive digits, or they're 1, 3, and again, that would be 3 consecutive digits. Notice that they could be in any order. They could be literally in this order. It could be 3, 4, and that is clearly out of order. What it cannot be, though, is 2, 3, 5, because they're no longer consecutive. What else do we have? Digits along a thermometer must strictly increase from the bulb end. There are 2 thermometers here in box 1. What it's saying is that this is the bulb end of a thermometer. This could be 2, 3, 4. That is strictly increasing as you get away from the bulb at the top. What you cannot do is have 2, 3 and go back down to 1 again. That is clearly no longer increasing from the bulb end. We have digits joined by a black dot. Unless I'm colorblind, I don't see any. Must be in a 1 to 2 ratio. And digits separated by a white dot must be consecutive. And I see a few of these. So if this is a 2, for example, this would have to be 1 or 3, so that they are indeed consecutive. It's emphasizing the fact that not all dots are given, so that 2 could be adjacent to a 3 in here. The absence of a white dot doesn't make this a problem. And what else do we have? Nabner lines and German whisper lines. Let's do German whisper lines first, because I think these are fairly familiar for the regular viewers of this channel. Let's do this line. If this line here was a 2, then this would have to be 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. For this, for example, now to be an 8, for this to be 5 or more away, it would have to be 1, 2, or 3. Clearly we placed 2 in the box already, so that would have to be 1 or 3. And you end up with this pattern where you are essentially oscillating between low, high, low, high, low digits. Obviously, this is a fictitious example. I don't know if this is low or high, but hopefully that is self-evident. What it does tell us, though, is that there is never a 5 on a German whisper line, and it's up to you to determine why that is the case. Now, last but not least, this is sort of why we get this diamond shape. And I'm going to have to sort of use as part of the solve quick reminder of the constraints of this. I do remember it being very constrained. The golden lines are Nabner lines, and Nabner lines cannot have any repeats on them and cannot contain any consecutive digits. And it gives here an example. So it says 192, we need one more digit, let's say 4. That wouldn't be allowed because the 1 and 2 are consecutive digits. If I replace the 2 with another non-consecutive digits with the rest of this group, 1469 for example, that would be totally fine. So that's all the rules we have for today. We've got cages, we've got diamonds. You're going to have to try and break this, or at least test the security associated with this puzzle. As usual, link will be in the description down below for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. Although admittedly, I am about to hit the pause button and come back to you guys in a moment where I'll pick off with the solution. Right, pardon me. Hopefully that was a fairly quick. Right, let's crack on. So, I am not necessarily seeing anything obvious on the grid in terms of, this is the box or the location to start. So what I'm tempted to do is take a look at the cage diamonds first. See, because I'm pretty sure I remember there were 2 options, and let's quickly derive that. Then it's probably going to be box 1, and then we'll see what it takes us from there. So, cage diamonds. I think these Nabner lines are the key. Let me think this through. So, German whisper lines, they're oscillating low, high, low, high. So these 2 digits, whatever they are, they're going to be the same. Excuse me. Can I use some colors that are going to be obvious? No. I'm going to use red, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're high, but they're the same. That's the important part. Now we're going to have a low digit in the middle, and then 2 digits. Yeah, it's all coming back to me. It's the renban that's the key. Here, let me show you. So let's do with some, I'm going to show you digits that will definitely work. If I put a 2 in the middle, these 2 digits have to be 1, 3, because it needs to be consecutive in the renban, but at the same time, it can't be, so this has to be the 2. These have to be consecutive on aggregate because they're on the renban, but the middle digit has to be in the middle, because otherwise, if the 2 is on the side, the Nabner line will break because it is consecutive with both 1 and 3. Now, can it be anything other than 2 if it's low? And I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no. So it clearly can't be a 4, because that would mean both of these are double 9 on the German whisper line. That doesn't work. But even 3 is too high, because that would be 8 and 9. And they are consecutive. They're the only 2 digits that can be next to the 3 on the German whisper line. So these 2, essentially, and the last thing is that this couldn't be the 3, because that would end up with, 2 and 3 in here, and that would create a different problem as well. So, long way of saying is that if this is low in here, in the middle, there is really only one way of doing this, which is 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 7, 9. No. Yeah, 7, 9. Because it can't be 6. So that's off the table. And then from 7, 8, 9 in terms of high, you have to pick the 7 and 9 to make sure that they are not consecutive on the Nabner. Then obviously the opposite is available, which is where this is high, but the rest of these digits, they basically just move around. If that's an 8, Those would be 7, 9. And then these would be 1, 3. But the 1, 3, 7, 9 are basically all gone. Right. So, same going on here. 1, 3, 7, 9. 1, 3, 7, 9. And then box 1 is going to start to look interesting. Where can 1 go in box 1? And I think the answer is it can only be on the cell that I have highlighted. So it clearly can't be halfway up the thermometer. Can't be halfway up this thermometer either. I'm going to show you some other examples. Can't put it in here, because that would mean, yeah, even if I put it on this renban, and it's almost like there is a chain here of the thermometer. It's not exactly true, but there's almost a chain in this thermometer. But regardless, that can't be a 1 because these would be 2, 3. And what's going to be lower than 2 or 3 in here, given 1 and 2 and 3 are gone? So 1 can't be here, 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 here. Again, if this is a 1, we have the same challenge. This would be 2, 3. Even if it's in a different order, what's going to be lower than whatever this cell is? So no 1s, no 1, no 1. Pretty sure that can't be a 1 because, again, it'll be 2, 3. Yep, and then nothing beneath it. So 1 is forced. These are not 1s. Therefore, these are not 3s. I feel like 2 is forced. Two clearly can't be here. What if I put 2 there? That would be 3, 4. I think the nature of this renban connecting these thermometers is really interesting. What happens if I do that? This would end up being 3, 4 because the 1 is gone. And then what is lower than that? So it, constantly, whatever this digit is, again, it can't be a 2. And then, of course, none of these, yeah, that can't be a 2 because nothing's between 1 and 2. This can't be a 2 because 3 and 4, oh, this could be a 2. 3, 4. Yeah, 3, 4 is gone, and then what is lower than all of them? That also doesn't work. So none of these are 2. Not 2, not 2. Yeah, it is forced. I'm convinced of that, which gives me now an 8 in here, which means that these are 7, 9 to be on the renban. These have to be 1, 3. Now, I really don't see a problem with something like 3, 4, 5. But aside from having a 3 somewhere on this renban, I'm not sure I can put it anywhere else. Yeah, challenge with this renban is if I put a 3 in here, 4 and 5 are there, then there's nothing beneath it. So the 3 can't be on this renban, can't be in these cells. I mean, we've got a 1, 3 pair looking at it. Can't be here because there's nothing beneath that. But it is on this renban, and therefore this is 3, 4, 5. Then this has to be the next digit from 3, 4, 5. Yes. If I try and place the 6 on here, we're going to have that same old problem. The 6 would have 7 and 8, and then this would be 9, and that would be silly. I don't think the 6 can be anywhere on this renban because it will take out all the remaining digits, and therefore there will be nothing left beneath it. So that 6 can't be up here either because that would be a gap. That has to be the 6. And now I think this could be any of 7, 8, 9. Similar to this 3, 4, 5. So it's almost like you've got these first 2 cells are forced just because of the renbans that are happening. Then the renbans themselves are open season from the remaining digits. Fascinating. Right, here is an obvious thing. If this is an 8, that would be 7, 9. Then it will break both of these cells. So this definitely is 2. Therefore, this is the high digits. These are not 7 or 9. This is a 1-3 pair. That is not a 3. One of these is a 3. One of these is an 8. Such an odd construction, but I love it. I mean, Dr. Logic has come up with these diamonds where they are very constrained. And then we've got this very strange linkages with renban that seem very constrained as well. I'm a little bit worried that with these foundational assumptions that I'm making here, if I rush it too fast and then I get on with the rest of the puzzle, if I miss something silly like, well, the 2 could have been here all along, you know, we've broken the entire puzzle. But I'm gonna take a risk and say my deductions are correct and I haven't missed some sort of edge case that I haven't thought about. Right, where do we go from here? So these are from 2, 4, 5, 6. These are from 8, 4, 5, 6. None of these are 6. 6 is in here. These, yeah, there you go. This is not 4 or 5 because they're down here. Therefore, this is not 2 or 6. In there, we've got 1 and 8 for sure. In here, we've got 2 and 4 for sure. In here, we can fully pencil mark this one. So it is 2, 3, or 6. Not that it's particularly helpful, if I'm honest. So I was just checking on my dog if she's okay. Surely it's this one next. Yeah, let's figure out. Let's try and figure out what is the polarity of these cells. Right, with 7, 8, 9 in this column, looking at these two, that is clearly the low digit. That was kind of obvious from the start now. These are therefore the high digits. These high digits, I'm just going to fully pencil mark them in for a second, but this is not 7 or 9, and it can't be a 6, otherwise that would be a double 1. So that's just forced. This is not an 8. Neither of these are an 8, pardon me. 6, 7, 9. Could either of them be a 6? I think the answer to that is yeah. Neither of them could be a 9 though, because they're on the renban. The 9 in here needs an 8 next to it, so 9 is off the table. 6 and 7 is forcing a fairly low set of digits with 1 and 2. This can now only be 5. This is 4, this is 5. This 6, 7 pair gives me a 2, gives me a 6. This is 3, 4, 9 remaining. That is not a 9 because of the 7, 9 pair. One of these two cells is a 9. The diagonal isn't that helpful yet, is it? But the only thing that I've seen is 2 and 8 are definitely down here. Right, that is probably the use for it now. So let's talk about box 9. And one thing that I can tell you is that these 3 cells have to add up to an odd digit. And you might ask yourself and say, well, Sleuth, how did you get to that conclusion? And that is just down to kind of the nature of Sudoku. Because this box has the digits 1 to 9 once each, the sum of this box is going to be 45. However, I need to take away an odd number from 45 to end up with an even number. And I need an even number because these two cages sum up to the same value. So whatever it is that's in here, this is 10. I need an odd digit that on aggregate then I take away from 45, and it needs to leave me with a number that I can divide into two into these two separate cages. And this cage has a 2 and a 7 plus one of 1, 3, 4. So it's not like there is many options in here. My options are essentially 2, 7 is 9. So my options are 10, clearly not the case because that would require 0 to be added to the 2, 8. No, hang on, that doesn't work. 2, 8, what are my options? If I put a 1 in here, that would be 11. 45 minus 11 would leave me with 34 divided by 2 would be 17. That is achievable. So 17, and then obviously with 3 it'll be 16. With 5 it'll be 15. Yeah, because essentially 3 15s. With 7 it'll be 14, and with 9, 19, take away the 45. Yeah, that would be 13. It'll be 26. Okay. And then if I look at my 2 and 7, I'm already at 9. And then the maximum I can reach is 13 with 2, 4, and 7. So 1 and 3 are gone. This is 2, 4, 7. Neither of these are 4. Therefore, this is a 1. This is a 3. This is a 3, 9 pair now. That's a 4. That 4 means, not sure what it means exactly. It means there is no 4 in here. I said already that I can't have an even digit in here. So where does 6 go? Well, it can't be on here. That has to be the 6. That is the 7. Let's just keep going with this logic. So I said I needed to get to 13. That is already, this would be 2, 3, 8. That is a 9, not 3, because of the diagonal. This is the 3. I've already placed the 3, therefore this would be the 5. This is a 4. This is a 3. The 9 in here gives me a 7. This is now an 8, 9 pair, looking at a 7, 9. That can only be a 7. That can only be a 9. I can start to pencil mark the rest of this. We'll do that in a moment. Can I do better? Almost. That 6 tells me this is not the 6. This is the 6. Not sure about the rest of it, other than this is not 5. So this is a 4, 8 pair. This is the 5. 4, 8 pair is looking now at an 8, 9. This can only be the 9. This can only be the 8. This 9 bounces back, gives me the 7, the 9. The 3 was there for ages. That's 1, that's 3, that's 2, that's 1. I should lose these pencil marks before I use them accidentally. And we made huge progress all of a sudden. From looking a little bit lost to we're good. Right, more parity tricks here. We know that these two have to add up to 13. Now, I can't split the 4 and the 6 between them, because if I put, let's say, 4 in here and 6 in there, forget what are the remaining numbers, I'm going to be left with 2 odd digits to join the 4, which would add up overall to an even number. And I need to add up to 13. So that doesn't work. The 4 and the 6 have to go together. I've broken it. Unless my maths is a bit... because I still need that 3 again. Of course I've broken it. I made this add up to 13. Sleuth, come on. this is not what's meant to add up to 13. It was meant to be that these two add up to 13, and then therefore that is 26. And then I need the delta from 45 and 26, which is 19, which means this wasn't a 3 all along, it was a 9. Which means I reverse these two. I reverse this one. Dear oh dear, Sleuth, I reverse this one. Hopefully that is all I needed to do and the rest is correct. Right, let's try that again. I'm still on the right track with 4 and 6 though. And we know that there is a 3 that needs to join them to add up to 13. So the 3 doesn't mean that the 3, 4 is here with a 6 though. I could still do, my options would be, I essentially have one group which is 3, 4, 6. The other group would be the remaining odd digits that are not 3 or 9, it's 1, 5, 7. And clearly, from these two groups, the one that has a consecutive digit is only the 3, 4. 1, 5, 7, none of them are consecutive. So that is fixed, that is 3, 4, that is a 6. And these are from 1, 5, 7. Right, let's keep going. This is a genius puzzle. 1, 8, 7, I think that looks right. Not sure I'm getting the materiality of this cage. Yeah, not too sure. 13, 13. How can I get to 13 in here? What are my options? I've done a mistake. There's no way that both of these have 2. So this doesn't have a 2. That's 4, 5, 9. Right. Can 9 belong here? The answer is actually yes. I could do 9, 1, and 3, and that still adds up to 13. How about 1? I've just said yes. 8, and then to 5. That looks difficult. 8, and then I can't have 2 pairs that add up to 5 because this is a 4, that is not a 1, and I don't have a 2, 3 in here. So 8 is gone. This is 1, 7. That gives me a 1, 5, 7 triplet. That is not a 5, therefore. One of these has to be the 5. That is not a 5 either. What about a 7 with 13? Can I get to 6? Yeah, 4, 2. 1 with 12, yes, 9, 3. So both of these work. And I've used both the 4 and 9, yeah, with 1 and 9 and 7, 4, 2. So they're all in. 6 with a 7 doesn't work. Because how would I get to 7 with, I mean, it will clearly be the 4, but I don't have a 2 in here. So 6 is out. 6 is out from here as well because of Sudoku. So that's the 6. Do I use both of the 2 and 3? I think I do. 7, 4, 2, and then 1, 9, 3. So there's 2 options. 1, 5, 7 here. No. This surely is what I'm meant to be looking at next then. So my options are 7, 8. Yeah. Essentially, the remaining digits in here are 7, 8, 4, and 2. 2 can't be on the white crop dot because 1 and 3 are gone. So 2's out the table. That is a 2. From 4, 7, and 8, which ones are consecutive? Clearly, the 7 and 8, that is a 4. That is an 8. This is a 7, 8 pair. Am I going to be just doing lots of classic Sudoku now to make progress, such as there's a 6 in here. Still need 1 and 3. That 3, 4 pair tells me that's the 3, that's the 1. That gives me 2 and 3. Thing that forces the rest now, because there was only one way of getting to 13 with a 3. None of these are 1. This is a 5, 7 pair. That is the 1. None of these are the 1. This is a 7, 8 pair now. This is, none of these are 9s. Had a 3, 4 looking at this all along. That's a 5, that's a 4. 7, 8 pair means that's not an 8. That's not a 9. That is not a 2 either. That is just 9. 2 8 pair, 2 8 pair, not resolved yet. 5 7 does resolve it though. That's 8, that's 7, that's 8, that's 7. That 8 though gives me 2 and 8. This digit here, whatever it may be, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a. I've had 6, 7, 8, 9. I need a 4, a 5. I think it feels like we're nearing the finishing line now. The end is in sight. We've got 1, 8, 9 in here. 1 and 8 means that's the 9. This is 1, 8. Then I need 3, 5, 6. I'm not sure I can clean up any of these. Not a 6. Not a 2. That's it, really. I can write in a 9 now in this box. What about these two digits? 5 and 6. Interestingly, no, but 5s do line up, meaning neither of these are 5. That is the 5. 5, 6, 5, 7 pair. Can we do more of that? 6s are lining up. Yeah, we've got the 6 anyway. 5. I'm not quite getting the significance of this. Other than the fact that the 1 is not repeating, means that the 1 is not here, the 1 is not there. That's the 1, that's the 8, that's the 1. And I may have to pause one more time because my dog is saying it is time to go, which is unusual. It's not exactly that late in the day. One moment, please. Right, sorry about that. They don't like closed doors at all. They're very opinionated. I talk a lot about them. That's 4, that gives me 7, that's 4. That is a digit I should be able to write in. That's an 8, 8, I can type. Then I'm left with 4 and 7, I think. 4 means that's 4, that's 7, that's 5. We're finished. What an absolutely phenomenal puzzle, Dr. Logic. I think it deserves great, applause. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think these diamonds have been phenomenal. This seems like it's the next in line. This sort of thermometer renban setup seems a lot more restricted than what might catch the eye. But what a phenomenal puzzle. I hope that you guys agree and that you enjoyed it. What I'm going to do is see if I can come up with a list of the other diamond-based puzzles so that you guys can take a look at these if you haven't already. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and bye-bye for now. See you soon.